Hey everybody, and welcome to Project Premium Harvest. My name is Matt. In today's video, we're going to be going over the YieldMax weekly payers. We're going to be talking about their declarations, total premium paid out since the fund's inception. We're going to talk about total return at the inception price, and then we're also going to calculate total return at the 52-week high. So let's get started. If you guys are new to my channel, what I usually like to do is, regardless of the video I am shooting, I am going to take a snapshot of my portfolio, and currently it is valued at $110,910.04. Also, if you guys track my channel, this has jumped up about $25,000 to $35,000 because I basically moved some of my shares from Fidelity over to Robinhood because there was a stock grant I got from my work. So therefore, I moved it over so that I can kind of borrow against that money and then make more money in my Robinhood account. I do not plan on selling these Oracle shares. That's a company I used to work for. I'm just going to use them as a leveraging tool and just gives me more of like a margin buffer. That's why I moved it over. But now let's get into the spreadsheet I created. All right, guys, starting with GPTY, which is the YieldMax AI Options Income ETF, right? There have been 7 payments since this fund was incepted on February 7th, 2025. The price at inception was $50 a share, and it has never gone higher than $50 a share. It kept NAV eroding. The declaration payment for March 21st, 2025, which is coming out tomorrow, you are going to get a 26 cents per share payment. And if you look at the total premium since this fund has been incepted on February 7th, 2025, you're going to get a distribution of about $2.12 per share, right? As I mentioned, 7 payments so far for this fund. If we look at that as an average distribution per payment, that's about 30 cents a share. If you look at the share price in value since its inception, right, it's going to be negative $16.84. If we basically take the share price, but then add in the total premium, the total return gets a little bit higher, but it's still a negative number. It's still negative 12.59%. And then because the all-time high is also the inception price, the all-time high numbers and total return are going to be exactly the same as the inception numbers. If we look at moving forward, if we look at the average share price since this fund has incepted is about $44.55. This fund is a little too early to tell if it is successful or not. They happened to release the fund right before the market went into a bearish stance. We don't know how much longer it's going to go. Could it go on for more months, or is that pretty much the rest of it and the tariff battle is over? Hard to say. No one has a crystal ball. But let's move over to the next fund, LFGY. Now that we are looking at LFGY, the inception price was $52 a share, and then the all-time high price was $53.96. The declaration and the distribution you're going to receive if you own this fund, it's going to pay out tomorrow, and it's going to be at 47 cents. Since this fund has incepted, the 9 payments has accounted for about $5 in total premium. And that's an average distribution of about 55, almost 56 cents a share. But if you look at the share price in value, or the share price change in value since its inception, it's negative 25%. So basically we took, this price subtracted by this price divided into 52. So we got negative 25%. But if we add in the total premium into that share price, we're still down negative. In total return, we are still down negative 15.32%. Definitely increased, but a negative number is never a good thing. Like I said with GPTY, I think this fund happened to have been pushed out with bad timing. So I would say let's give these funds like 6 months to a year to really identify if they're a good investment or a bad investment. I think right now it's a little bit too early to tell. There is hope, but from right now, the numbers that we are looking at, they're just not very good. And then if we look at the share price change in value since the all-time high, we're looking at negative 27.72%. And if you look at the total return from this worst possible time to buy because the fund started eroding, we're at a negative 18.39%. And then if we look at the average share price for LFGY is $42.70 a share. All right, let's go over to QDTY. So QDTY, inception price $50. All-time high, also $50. It never has gone past that threshold, and it just kept losing money since its inception. Unfortunate bear market. It's going to be the same story for pretty much most of these funds because it just came out this year. But the declaration and distribution you're going to receive for owning QDTY this week is about 31 cents per share. Look at the total premium. That's an average, or the total premium. I messed that up. 1 second. A little bit of a formula problem, but the total premium is about $1 per share. The total number of distributions has been 4. And if you look at that as an average distribution per payment, that's about 25, almost 26 cents a share. Okay, and if you look at the share price change in value, that's negative 8.86%. And the total return, basically adding in that total premium in addition to the share price, that's a negative 6.78%. So still a negative number, but it's only been out for 4 weeks. Same story. Bear market, happened to come out, bad timing, cool. But the average share price over the last 4 weeks has been about $46.58. Not necessarily good since the share price started at $50. All right, moving on to RDTE. And it's one payment that we're going to, first one ever is going to be this week and tomorrow. And the distribution payment for RDTY is 31 cents per share, almost 32 cents a share. For RDTE, the inception price was $50 and the all-time high was also $50 because it never went higher than that. Total premium is the one distribution of that 31.93. Number of distributions, like we said, first one ever. We're annotating it. It's kind of cool. And then the average distribution, because there's only one payment, 31.93. All right, looking at the share price change in value since its inception, it's negative 0.68%. Look at that as total return since its inception, we're negative 0.04%, so not too bad. And then everything else is going to be the same because the inception price is also the all-time high price. And if you look at the average share price, because there's only one, it's $49.66. That's what it's currently at right now. Moving on to SDTY. For SDTY, the initial inception price was $50. The all-time high was $50 as well. The declaration and distribution payment for this week is going to be that 31.75 cents per share. And the total premium since this fund hasn't been incepted is about $1.12 per share. Number of distributions, 5. And if you look at that as an average distribution, basically per payment, it's about 22 cents a share. If you look at the share price change in value since its inception, that's negative 9.82%. The total return since its inception, basically adding in that premium as well as the share price, is negative 7.57%. And then the other two, the all-time highs, are going to be the same numbers as since inception because the numbers are going to be the same. The average share price for SDTY over the last 5 weeks is about $47.32 a share. As I've been saying earlier, the share price has continued to go down, down, and down. Too early to tell if this is a good investment. Give it 6 months, give it a year before I would even invest in it and compare. I basically would like to compare this against xdte, XPay, and some of those other funds from Roundhill. All right, moving on to ULTY, the dirty girl, some would say. Shout out Oracle if you know Oracle. All right, for ULTY, the inception price was $20 a share, and over the year of this fund being out, it has never gone past $20 a share. It's only gone down, but the distribution payment that's coming up is going to be 9 cents, which is kind of abysmal. We're going to these YMAG levels, which I don't like. The NAV rating is so high that at least the only thing that can give investors hope is the distribution, and now they're taking that distribution away, and the fund is continuing to still go down. Oh, what a bad spot to be in. All right, anywho, the total premium since this fund was incepted back in March 13th of 2024, so it's been about almost exactly over a year since this fund has been incepted, about a year and a week. And there has been 15 distributions since this fund has been incepted. And if we look at the average distribution, or the per payment, is about 78 cents a share. The share price change since its inception is negative 66.9%. So over a year period, that is freaking crazy bad, right? But if we look at the total return, it doesn't look as bad, but no fund should be losing 66.9%. And then as like Jay, the fund manager, said on Oracle's interview, you had to reinvest 100% of your distributions, otherwise you'd lose money. Is absolutely asinine of what any investor should be doing. It's literally robbing yourself and then paying yourself back to then get robbed again to then pay yourself back again. It makes no sense. And then you have to pay taxes on it. So you're losing money and then you have to pay taxes at the end of the year. Not a winning solution. Either way, the all-time high change in value and the all-time high total return is going to be exactly the same because the all-time high was also the inception price. If we look at the average share price for ULTY, it's about $10.69 a share. But if you look at since inception, this fund has been continuing to go down and it is now trading at $6.62. I bought this fund back, I think, in this $10 range, made some money off of it, investing at X dividend, and then it bounced up and then sold out. But holding this fund long term, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay, moving on to YMAX. So for YMAX, the inception price was $20 a share and the 52-week high was $21.68 a share. For this March 21st distribution and declaration payment, we're going to get 15 cents a share. And if we scroll all the way down, if you've owned YMAX since inception, you're going to have a distribution of $9.39 per share. And the total number of distributions has been 34. The share price change in value since its inception is negative 29.9%. But if we add in total returns, you're actually up 17.09%. So not too bad. Okay, and then if you look at the share price change in value at the all-time high, which is negative 35.33%. And if you look at the total return, if we invested into that all-time high, we are only up 8%. So an 8% gain over investing a new year. Is that good or not? Hard to say. Depends what you're trying to do. If this was into a tax advantage account, I think this is very good, right? Not necessarily very good, but it's 8%, that's going to be cash. You have to reinvest some of it so you don't lose your money. But 8%, not necessarily too bad. But if you have this into a normal brokerage where you have to pay taxes, I don't know if this is worth it. It's a trade-off, right, for each investor. I personally dumped mine because in a bear market, these funds get killed. And sure, the only way that this fund makes sense is if you hold it long-term so that eventually you can get your cost basis to zero. And then anything after that is free money. But at the same time, each investor has their own idea of risk, and I just wanted to sell out of mine. With that being said, the average share price for YMAX is at $17.50 a share. So yeah, and I think YMAG is going to be our last weekly pair. Let's take a look. It's going to be quite exciting. All right, so for YMAG, the initial share price since inception was $20 a share. The all-time high is $21.63 a share. The distribution payment for March 21st is going to be 8 cents a share. Kind of trash if you're asking me, but here we are. The total premium since this fund has been incepted is about $8.51 a share. Number of distributions, 34. If we look at the average distribution is about $25 or 25 cents per share. The share price change in value since its inception is negative 23.3%. But if you look at the total return, right, we take that share price, but then we also throw in the premium. It's actually 19.29%. If we look at the share price change in value with the all-time high, and then we also put in the premium, we are still a total return of 10%, right? And the average share price is $18.82. So a little bit better than YMAX. All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Hopefully this has added value to your investment strategy. We talked about all the different distributions and the fund's performance, so you guys can make an educated decision if you should invest into a fund like this. Hey, guys, hope you're doing well out there. Matt out. Till the next video.